Hi everybody, welcome back to Stamping School. So this catalog is retiring from Stampin' Up! At the end of April, and this one will be starting on May 1st. So when you get this one in the mail, don't throw it away. It is Stampin' Up! It just looks a little different. Still good stuff in there. These dies are retiring at the end of the month or whenever they sell out, whichever comes sooner. On April 9th, these will be going on sale. I think right now they're $29, and if they are still around, if they haven't sold out by April 9th, they'll be going down to $17.40. They are basic dies, and I love them. I've used them and used them and used them, and I will keep them because they are so, so useful. This one, the rounded one, is probably my favorite. I'm going to make that card for you to show you how to cut these. This one's probably my favorite. I use that one a lot. This one is my second favorite. I have used this one for clouds, from the up top, for snow, for grass, for dirt, for shrubs. I have used this one so much. This one is the little V cut right here, and they also have the little designs on the top and the bottom, so whichever way you cut it, they have the little designs like this little zigzag here. This little rickrack has little stitching on each side. So when you cut this, it will leave the little marks on each side. Let me get up closer so you can see. There you go. See how they have little stitches on them? And this too? So you can kind of see what that looks like. This one up here, I love to use it for envelopes and things like that. And this one works really great. So, I mean, Stampin' Up! They're called basic. They should be around forever. Anyway, if you don't have them yet and you don't have a good border die, think about these. Let me show you some things we can do with them. For my stamps and dies, I'm going to be using Cheerful Daisies. I did not get these originally. When the list came out, I saw that they were not retiring. They will go into the new catalog, but they won't have a bundle price. So anything that carries over into the new catalog will be, they won't have that 10% discount, so they'll be separate. So right now it's $53. In the new catalog, they'll be $59 for the bundle, or you can buy them separately like you can now. But I'm going to use the daisies, and I'm going to use this coordinating paper right here. This is the Fresh as a Daisy paper. That is retiring. And then these dots are carrying over, but these are not. These little guys. I like these because they're flat and they're shiny. So let me show you this one first. You can do any color cardstock on the inside. I chose a white card base because I wanted to be able to save the cardstock and be able to write in there. So my card base is 5.5 inches by 7.25, and I've scored it at 4.25. And that creates my card, and there's a little piece missing here. And this piece is 4 inches by 5.5, and see how it hangs over a little bit? There's a reason. And then this piece. So I'm going to cut them. Now this piece is 2 inches by 5.5, and it's just a continuation of this one. But what I want is that back side that coordinates. So we're going to put these two together with the die and cut them all at one time. I'm going to use this arch one, and I'm going to bring it down almost to the edge right here. There. You just want to make sure these are pretty much the same if you can, so you're not going too far this way or this way. Just sort of eyeball it. If you want to measure it, you can. You also don't want your paper to slip around, so you could put just a wee bit right there, but you just want to be able to take that off. Just taping that down. Run this through the machine. So both of those cut at the same time, carefully. I like to use low tack painter's tape, but I was out, and that's masking tape, which is just a little more sticky. All right, now we can glue all this down. This is an easy card to do. It looks nice. Now you could do any edge you want to, but you just want to cover the front of the card. Right there. Okay, and so you're just going to have a little bit of a lip hanging over, and that's okay. So the other option would be to cut it both the cardstock and this at the same time, but it's going to create, it's going to be a little thicker, And when you run the die this way, long ways like this through the machine, you tend to get a big bump. It's fine, it's just I prefer to cut it this way. Now, this piece that we cut the same way, I'm flipping it around this way and adding my adhesive. And so it just gives a nice little layer on this inside piece. There's a fun way to like showcase the other side. Okay, and there it is. And like on this one, depending on where you put the die, you can come in a little bit. This one, I missed it just a little bit. I probably could have come over, made sure just a little more. I see a little bit here, but I'm okay with it. And this designer paper is so pretty. This is the one I was telling you that's going to be going away, the Fresh as a Daisy. I mean, look at this pretty paper. It's so pretty. I'll show you what to do with this one in just a second. Let me show you the other pieces that come in it. If you don't like this side, then you've got pretty stuff on the other side. They're 12 by 12. This one is mauve. So it's pretty. I'll be using this one too today. So at the top of the daisy paper, there's a lot of empty space. So I embossed one of the flowers from the Cheerful Daisies. I embossed this one right here with white, Versamark and white powder. And then just added one of the other dies that comes in the die bundle, cut it out, added a little bit of this in the center from this paper. And the greeting comes in that stamp set and then a little twine around it. That's it. I like this one. Now this next one right here, I didn't use the dies, but I really could have. I could have used it anywhere, but I wanted to show you this paper, which is ready to go basically. It's right here on this big sheet. Look at all the card possibilities. This one, I cut it down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I just glued it right on the white card. That's it. I just glued it on the card. And then I took the rest of the piece of this, which is the yellow stripe, and I added a piece of the powder pink on the inside and added that little remaining piece there. I didn't do anything else. I added a few sequins. I added the ribbon around the designer paper, added some twine, and then I added that great stamp that's an online exclusive. This one is still here, and I think everybody needs a set like this. It talks about, cancer sucks, and I don't have all the right words to say. I do have lots of love to give. There's no good card for this. That's why I bought this stamp set. Hope this is a feeling better kind of a day. It's just a great set. I'll put the link to that below. So I just put that on a banner, and then on the inside, a little more ribbon. So this one, super easy. And like I said, you could do the same thing with all of these. You could cut all of these out and then make them layers for your cards. Like artwork ready to go. Oh, let me show you the envelope for this one. I forgot. This is what I meant by using this one for my envelopes. I glued down a 2.5 inch strip of designer paper and then ran that through the machine. Now it'll have to go through this way, so there'll be a little bump as you go, but it'll still cut. But that gives you a really pretty edge, and you still got some licky sticky stuff up there, so it works. It's really pretty. This card uses this paper, which can go a little fall, but I think if you do the white daisy, I think it could still work for this season. And I made it sort of a matchbook fold, so this just comes up and opens like that. And this just tucks in. Now this doesn't use very much cardstock actually. So this is 5 1/2 by 7 inches for this one in the Pretty Peacock is what I used. You could also do 7 1/4, but I just took off this little bit at the bottom here. This will be, as you run it through your machine, this will be a bump because you're going to have to put it in the machine this way. Okay, so this will go like this at the bottom. You just sort of figure out what looks good. So I just took off a little bit at the bottom, like a 1/2 inch or so, maybe 3/4 of an inch at the bottom, right there. And that is going to be my fold up piece, like that. Now, you could also make that a gift card holder if you want to, but this piece right here is 4 inches by 5.5. So it's a really good size for the paper, the designer paper. And then I took the V and put that like right down at the bottom, just right there, making sure that it's not off kilter, okay? And ran that through. And actually you can run that one through this way so you don't have the bumps and it cuts very quietly. So you run that through the machine this way. You'll want to score 1/2 inch on this top piece, and that's what glues onto the card. That makes your flap. So it's going to be easier doing it this way. So you're gluing just the flap right there. Okay, there we go. See, it's coming together. I have another 2-inch piece right down here, just because I like to have a little coordination. But you could just put white down here if you had more things to write. But I was just sort of continuing. Ooh, that's upside down, isn't it? There we go. And then just my white panel on the inside. Because this is still 4 1/4 by 5.5, it's still just a standard size card once it's folded like that. Now, to keep it closed, this is where I added my daisy. So I cut the daisy from the dies, and you're only going to glue down half of it. So it's going to create that great little place for the paper to tuck into. On this one, I decided, this is all white, and I decided on this one to run the die in the copper clay, and this is what one of the dies looks like. They're all together, so you could use them together if you want to, but I'm going to trim it apart and use just the big flower. You put those two together there. I have one more layer on top. There's this one, which sort of adds just a little bit more dimension, but I'm going to add this yellow here and then this one on top just to give it a little extra something something. I kind of like it with that little bit of copper around the edge. It stands out a bit more. So now you just decide where you want your flower to be and only glue it down right here. And I'm going to use dimensionals on the back. Use something strong. Dimensionals, use, if you don't want it to be puffy, then put some tear and tape on it or something. You want something kind of strong, but you don't want any adhesive above that line, right? You don't want it to hold that down forever. So that works best, just right at the bottom. Now, you could just leave it like that with no sentiment on it, but I put a little sentiment that said, "You made my day," and I added a few little sparkles up here, these little gems, and then on the inside right here, I just cut some of this out from the designer paper instead of stamping. I just cut some of these out just to give it a little, bring that to the inside. Here's some other ones I did playing around, a lot more complicated, but this was, I think this was the first one that I did. This is just plain white cardstock and just the blue. I did a little bit of stamping and I did just white daisies on them. This one sort of got away from me. It's kind of got a lot of stuff on it, but I used that mauve paper and I stamped in mauve. I did the open flower and I did the solid flower and I did the little flowers, and this little butterfly is from the paper butterflies and I Versamarked and gold embossed it. So this will be Oopsie Daisy because I missed someone's birthday and I'm going to send them a belated birthday card. So if these were around on April 9th for $17.40 US price, get them. They're definitely worth it. And thanks for watching. I'll post all the measurements for these, and we'll see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.